Welcome to Soul Knowledge. I'm your host, Rocky K of Tune Into Wellness. We are souls having a human experience, and this podcast is where we remember that. Your soul has lived lifetimes. It has a history, a purpose, and a wisdom that goes deeper than anything your mind can analyze. My work through Reiki, hypnotherapy, past life regression, subconscious healing, and intuitive transformation is to help you not just learn about your soul, but to actually know it. Here I'll be sharing real stories from real sessions, lessons from the unseen, and truth telling about what healing really looks like. The messy, mystical, holy, human, sometimes hilarious, often uncomfortable, absolutely life-changing parts of it all. And I'll warn you now, if you don't like the honest language or the occasional well-placed F-bomb, this is not the podcast for you. Because sometimes the most spiritual thing you can say is, fuck this, I'm done repeating this pattern. So let's take a breath. Tune in. Let go of what you think you know. And let's drop into the wisdom your soul's been trying to give you all along. Welcome home. Welcome to Soul Knowledge. Hello and welcome back to the Soul Knowledge Podcast. I am Rocky, and today we are going to have a fun conversation, but then we're going to end with a cool, beautiful meditation. Today our topic is dragons, and isn't it interesting that almost every civilization on Earth imagined dragons? Like, I was diving into dragon information before doing this podcast, and it was just fascinating, the information that I came across. So, and when I say it's like every civilization on Earth, like there's different languages, different continents, different religions, and somehow they all told stories about these powerful ancient beings. And now the question is, were dragons ever real? I can't say for sure, and nobody can say for certain. But they could have been inspired by like fossils. You think about dinosaur bones, maybe it was inspired there. I don't know. Or maybe they were real and we just don't have the fossils to prove it. Maybe they were just symbolic. And maybe they only lived in humanity's imagination. But what if the real question isn't whether dragons existed? What if the question is, why does the image of the dragon still awaken something inside of us? I never even considered the true existence of dragons until I was doing a hypnotherapy session with a client. And this person went back into a life where they were an actual dragon. And if you know me, like when people go back into non-human existence, I want to know all the details. I want them to give me detail after detail after detail. And this person really did describe, they were describing the feeling of that flying and that freedom. And then described their like skin and scales, shimmery and sparkly. And I just like, for me, I'm like, hell yeah, I love a good shimmer. I love a good sparkle. And so it was just really fascinating. And, it moved me into this consideration that dragons could be real. Like they could have really existed. I've had clients go back in as mermaids, as different beings that do not necessarily have a specific name that we would know. They were like blue, and I could see it in my mind's eye as she was describing, this non-human being that she was. And, there's other times, you think about like fantasy, like where do these ideas come from? How do they come to exist? And this world of hypnotherapy has really opened me up to the idea that maybe it all has existed. Maybe it was all real. And what we believe to be fantasy is actually based on fact. And now, I'm not saying that the dragons definitely 100% existed, but why can't we leave it open to believe that they have? And so today, later on in the episode, I am going to guide you through a meditation to meet your dragon. So, what I have read is that we all have dragon guides, and some people have multiple dragons. And I always joked with my soul garden sisters, about these dragons. And someone had asked if we could meet our dragons in meditation. And I was like, hell yeah, of course we can. So I wrote a meditation to meet your dragons. And we did this, maybe it was in March. I did this of 2026. And we did this meditation and it was so fucking cool. And everybody saw the different dragons. They saw what they looked like. All their colors have meanings. And so I want you to dive in when you do this meditation. I want you to look up what the meanings of the colors are. And I want you to really feel into what it means to you by what you're seeing and the details that you are seeing. And after you have dove into what you saw and what you believe to be real, feel free to take it another layer and throw it into an AI tool to get a whole nother layer of meaning. And those are kind of cool and those are fun. I realize AI is not great for the environment. So you definitely use that in limited beings. Please don't create images of these dragons or anything like that because that uses even more. But if you want to learn another layer, I I think it's cool to know. And the colors and how you see them, they all mean something. So let's just talk about what I have dug up and what I've learned about dragons. So dragons actually appear in almost every single ancient culture. And one of the biggest mysteries is that civilizations separated by oceans all developed these stories about dragon like beings. So you'll find dragons or giant serpents in China, Japan, India, Mesopotamia, ancient Greece, Norse mythology, Celtic traditions, Mesoamerica, and indigenous Australian stories. So I think they all describe something powerful, ancient, and connected to forces larger than humanity, even though these cultures often had no direct contact. Like the internet wasn't available. If stories went across, they were like traveled by oceans, and then you had like interpretation because of the different languages. So, really, this makes you question big time, right? And then you think about Eastern and Western dragons, they're almost the opposite. So, like in the West, dragons often represented something to conquer fear, greed, ego, destruction, right? And then in the East, dragons are revered as wise, protective, connected to rain and rivers, symbols of abundance and divine power. I'm liking the East dragons, if you ask me. So it's fascinating that the same creature became either the villain or the guide, depending on the culture. But I think we can see that symbolism and so many other points of view in different objects or genders, even. I mean, you can think about that. So, and then also, like some historians think dragon stories may have started with just the giant fossils, like I was saying earlier. Like, this is before paleontology even existed. Imagine discovering just like these enormous bones sticking out of the earth, right? And many researchers think ancient people could have interpreted the mammoth or dinosaur fossils as remains of dragons. In an intriguing theory, though, it isn't universally accepted and probably doesn't explain every dragon legend. So it means there leaves some open-ended questions that are not answered. And then dragons were often also seen as guardians. So across the traditions, they guard like treasure, secret knowledge, magical objects, gateways, hidden realms. So symbolically, the treasure usually isn't gold, it's wisdom, transformation, the next version of yourself. And you think about how the stories of these dragons have been displayed. So in psychology, though, dragons often represent what we fear most. So Carl Jung didn't focus specifically on dragons, but in Jungarian, I don't even know if I say that word right, psychology, guys, sorry. There I am. In that type of psychology, dragon-like monsters are often interpreted as archetypes of the shadow. In the parts of ourselves we have rejected or hidden. So the hero doesn't destroy the dragon again because it's evil. The hero grows because they have to face it. I like this. I definitely like the psychological rendition of it as well. So many spiritual traditions see dragons differently than mythology. So we think about modern energy workers, shamans, and meditators often describe dragons as ancient guardians, protectors of sacred land, elemental beings, symbols of courage, keepers of wisdom, and embodiments of life force. So these interpretations are spiritual beliefs and personal experiences rather than established historical facts. But they are meaningful within many contemporary spiritual practices. And so, depending on where you are in your spiritual path, this could have a lot of meaning. And I know the people that walk through my door, these dragons do have a significant meaning. So, if this is something that's speaking to you, let's roll with it, okay? So dragons, they're also deeply connected to the elements. Depending on the tradition, dragons are associated with fire, which is transformation, water, which is emotion and intuition, earth, grounding, ancient wisdom, right? And then there's air, vision, higher consciousness. So that makes them a beautiful guide for meditation because they can represent so many different aspects of inner growth. And I want you to keep this all in your mind as we do this meditation today. And as you're trying to interpret the meaning of what you are seeing, feeling, hearing, or simply just knowing. And this is just listening to that inner voice, that inner knowing. So here's what I want you to do. We're going to dive into this meditation. So if you are driving or doing something where you cannot safely close your eyes and dive into that deep subconscious and get into a nice, super relaxed state, I want you just to pause this now and come back to it at another time when you can. And for those of you that are ready for this meditation, go ahead and get yourselves nice and comfortable. Whether you're sitting, whether you're lying, I just want you to be able to really relax, quieting the mind, quieting all your racing thoughts, and just come to your breath, feeling that air just going in and out of your nose, just allowing each breath to relax you more and more, helping you feel peaceful and calm. Breathing in and just going deeper. Inhaling peace and relaxation. Exhaling stress, tension, worries. And if you want, you can go to that forehead where you have all those knobs. And the knob that's connected to your racing thoughts, the chatter in your brain. And you can just take that knob and just gently turn it all the way down, quieting your mind, quieting any racing thoughts. And if you need to come back to this knob at any time in this meditation, feel free, gently just turning it back down. And then I want you to find that knob that's connected to that higher self, that purest part of you. And I want you to turn that knob all the way up, taking a nice, slow, deep breath in, exhaling gently. Again, breathing in the nose, just letting that body soften as you breathe out. And if you haven't closed your eyes yet, go ahead and close them down now. And just allow that outside world to begin fading into the background. There is nowhere you need to be right now. Nothing you need to figure out. Nothing to force. Just breathe and arrive. Feeling your body supported beneath you. Feel the natural rhythm of your breath. The quiet intelligence already moving through you. And now imagine beneath your body, beneath the surface, roots beginning to extend downward, deep into the earth. Strong roots, ancient roots. They move through the soil, stone, layers of time, anchoring you into something steady, something older than thought. You are grounded. You are protected. You are held. And around your body, allow a soft light to form, surrounding you, wrapping you in a cocoon of beautiful, peaceful, protective light, so that only what serves your highest good may enter here. Take a nice, big, deep breath in the nose. And on the exhale, set a quiet intention. I am ready to meet the spirit dragon whose energy is aligned with my soul. The one carrying wisdom, strength, and medicine for me now. And now in your mind, see yourself standing on the edge of a forest, a misty forest. Tall trees rise around you, ancient and still. Your presence almost watching, almost knowing that you have arrived. The air is cool against your skin. Mist moves slowly between the trees. Soft, silver, alive. You can smell earth, damp moss, something ancient in the air. This place feels untouched, sacred, as though the very few arrive here by accident. And yet, something in you knows. You were meant to come. Begin walking forward, slowly, quietly, allowing each step to take you deeper. With every step, the mind softens more. With every step, you move further from ordinary thought and deeper into the language of your soul. And you notice that the forest gradually opens, and ahead of you appears a bridge, ancient stone beneath your feet. A bridge suspended between worlds, mists moving beneath it, as though what lies beyond belongs to another realm entirely. Pause here. Feel this threshold. Because once you cross, you are entering a place where spirit meets you directly, where what has always existed beyond your sight may now reveal itself. And when you are ready, begin crossing, step by step, leaving behind any doubt, leaving behind the need to understand. There is only trust in your soul now, only openness. And as you reach the other side, notice the shift immediately. You feel the air change. It feels different here. It's charged, it's ancient, it's alive. Notice if the temperature is warmer or cooler, it's brighter or dimmer. You may find yourself in an open clearing or before a cave carved into stone. Or maybe you're simply just standing in a place lit by soft, ancient light. I want you to trust your mind. Trust what you're seeing. And just pause. Simply listen. There is presence here. You are not alone. Notice what comes first. Perhaps a low vibration beneath your feet, a sound in the distance, movement in the mist. Perhaps warmth touches your skin as though breath has reached you before form. And then allow the dragon to reveal itself. Not forced, not imagined, allowed. And maybe you first notice their eyes, ancient and intelligent. And maybe they have wings unfolding, scales catching the light. Notice what color appears. Allow the dragon to arrive exactly as it chooses. And as it comes into view, notice its size, its presence, its energy, and any other details that feel significant or noticeable to you. I want you to trust your mind here. Trust your soul's knowing. This being carries memory, wisdom, and power, not to overpower you, but to remind you of what lives inside you too. Notice what color it holds, what texture, what element. Does it feel like fire, water, earth, air, starlight even? And now notice how your body responds in its presence. What do you feel here? And I want you to trust that feeling. Because often before words, truth moves through feeling. Allow the dragon to come closer. And as it does, I want you to understand this dragon knows something about you, something ancient, something your soul has carried. Perhaps it is something you are ready to reclaim now. Ask yourself quietly, why have you come to me now? Pause, listen, feel. And then I want you to ask, what are you here to awaken within me? Perhaps it's courage, voice, protection, trust, power, a deep remembering. I want you to trust whatever comes to you in these questions, in these moments, whether you hear them, you feel them, you see them, or you just simply know them. Trust that inner guidance. And now I want you to notice if the dragon carries something for you, a symbol, a flame, a stone, a word, a color, pulse of energy. I want you just to receive it now. And if it feels right, allow that dragon to move even closer, perhaps lowering its head towards you, breathing light into your heart, your throat, your spine, your womb, your solar plexus. Wherever it goes, receive it. As though dormant strength inside you is being touched awake, as though ancient parts of you are remembering themselves. And now, just for a moment, feel what it is like to stand in your own energy differently, stronger, clearer, more sovereign. Not because something was given from outside you, but because something within you has been recognized. Take a big, deep breath in here. And then ask, how do I work with your energy? What do you want me to remember when I return? Trust whatever comes. Then I want you to place gratitude in your heart. Maybe put your hand on your chest, thanking your dragon, thanking this realm. Thank whatever has been revealed to you today. And I want you to know that this connection remains available whenever called with intention. Slowly turning away from the dragon, returning towards the bridge, crossing back gently, carrying your message, your gift, your activation, back through that misty forest, back towards your body, your breath, this moment, coming back into your body now, feeling the surface beneath you. Take a nice, slow breath in and exhale. Slowly coming back into your body, into your heart, into your soul, into this room. Maybe you start by wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toes. And I'm going to encourage you as you come back into the room just to jot down any details that you saw in this meditation. Colors, symbols, there was a gift. Most importantly, the feelings and what you saw and what it meant to you. I want you to trust that inner knowing. I want you to write intuitively anything that comes up as well. When we journal, we write from intuition versus intention. And as you're journaling, I want you to reflect on how you work with that energy of that dragon and recalling anything that he wants you to remember. And I want you to remember your dragon may not simply be a guide, it may be an aspect of power. Your soul is finally ready to walk beside. And if you'd like to continue journaling, please do that now. And before we sign off here, I want to thank you for taking this time to dive into your soul, to dive into your inner knowing and truly know and understand what it is your soul's trying to say to you. I invited you to meet your dragon today, not the one that wants to hurt you, but the one that's been waiting to protect the treasure hidden inside of you. And I would love to hear your stories. I would love to hear about your experience and telling me what your dragon looks like, what it meant to you. So you can go ahead and shoot me a message over on Instagram or whatever feels right to you. I'm excited to hear about your dragon. All of the details. Get that down. And until next time on the Soul Knowledge Podcast, just remember you, my friend, are absolutely the magic. Thank you for tuning in and for doing this work, not just for yourself, but for everyone connected to you. If this episode stirred something in you, trust that. Share it, leave a review, send it to someone whose soul needs it. Your voice and your ripple matter. And if you're ready to go deeper, to explore your past lives, heal your patterns, reconnect to your soul, or work with me one-on-one, head over to tuneintowellness.com or connect with me on Instagram. Until next time, trust what you feel, honor what you know, and remember, your soul already has the answers. Be bold, be light, be you. I'll see you next time on Soul Knowledge.